Most people think becoming a millionaire is the finish line. You hit it and you're done. You made it. You can finally exhale. But nobody tells you what actually happens at that number. Your money stops needing you. Not in a motivational poster way, in a literal, mathematical, this is what the numbers do way. At $1 million invested, you're generating what most Americans work for, annually, without clocking in once. The million isn't the finish line, it's the starting gun. My name is Ricky, and 4 years ago, I had $600 in savings and a quiet panic that I'd never crack this. I started obsessing over the math. Then something shifted. If you're grinding hard but still feel like you're running in place, stay with me. This one's different. Here's what nobody says out loud. You can be doing everything right and still feel financially stuck. Job? Got it. Bills paid on time? Yes. Not blowing money on nonsense? Correct. And yet, end of the month, the account's still thin. That low-key anxiety every time you open your banking app? That's not laziness. That's not a budgeting failure. That's what happens when nobody shows you how compound interest actually works. Most people are running what I call the treadmill model. Work, get paid, spend, repeat. You can run that loop for 40 years and end up with almost nothing to show for it. The average American household earns around $74,000 a year. Sounds decent, but after taxes, rent, food, gas, the average person saves less than 5% of that, about $3,700 a year. Do that math real quick. At $3,700 saved per year with zero growth, it takes 270 years to hit $1 million. 270 years. That number hits different when you actually write it out. And look, this isn't meant to depress you. It's meant to make something very clear. The strategy most people are using is genuinely broken, and nobody around them is saying it. Their parents aren't saying it. Their employers definitely aren't saying it, because nobody benefits from you figuring this out early except you. The problem isn't your discipline. It isn't your income. It's that nobody ever showed you what money looks like when it stops depending on you to survive. That's what today's about. When most people hear $1 million, they picture a number, big, distant, almost fictional, something for tech founders, inheritance kids, people on a completely different track. That's the wrong frame entirely. $1 million isn't a destination, it's a threshold, and crossing it changes the entire game because of one thing: compound interest at scale. You've heard this before, maybe even rolled your eyes a little, but there's a difference between understanding it and actually seeing what it does at different levels. $10,000 invested at 7% annually, you make $700 that year. Nice, that's a dinner out. $100,000 at that same 7%, you make $7,000. That's a few months of rent. $1 million at 7%, you make $70,000 in 1 year without working a single extra hour. That's the median household income in America, produced passively in 12 months. Now here's where it gets wild. The average person saves somewhere between $500 and $800 a month. Your $1 million portfolio at 7% is generating nearly $6,000 in growth. Your money just lapped you, growing faster than most people can save, every month, automatically, without your involvement. That's not rich people magic. That's not a special account or some insider strategy. That's a mathematical reality that becomes available to anyone who crosses that threshold. The question is, how do you actually get there? And what shifts in you when you do? There's a concept called the crossover point. It's the moment your investment income covers your living expenses. When that happens, work becomes optional. Not retirement in the dusty, wait till you're 65 sense, just genuinely optional. For most people spending around $4,000 a month, you need roughly $686,000 invested at 7% to hit that crossover, not even a full million. And suddenly, the job is a choice, not a requirement. Push it to $1 million, and you're generating $70,000 a year. That's $22,000 above your living expenses. That extra $22,000 goes straight back into the portfolio. Now, your wealth is accelerating past your spending, automatically. You didn't change anything. The math just took over. This is what people mean when they say money works for you. It's not a metaphor. It's precisely what happens. Now, here's the part that trips people up. The first $100,000 is the hardest. Genuinely. You're grinding, staying disciplined, watching numbers barely move. The progress feels invisible. You start wondering if it's even real. But something changes after you cross that first 100. Compound growth becomes visible. You watch your portfolio add $600, $800, $1,000 in a single month, without a paycheck, without overtime, without a side hustle. And psychologically, that moment changes you. You start making decisions differently. Spending looks different because now you have personal proof the system works. Not someone else's proof, not a video's proof, yours. Charlie Munger said the first $100,000 is a bitch, his words, but every serious wealth builder says the same thing in their own way. The beginning is hard because the feedback loop is slow. Once the compounding becomes real to you, not theoretical, actually real, the whole trajectory shifts. Push through the first 100. Everything after that compounds differently. Here's what messes people up. A person making $50,000 a year with a 40% savings rate will reach financial independence faster than someone making $150,000 saving just 5%. Sounds wrong. Watch the math. $50,000 at 40% savings. That's $20,000 going to work for you. $150,000 at 5% savings. That's $7,500 going to work for you. Over 20 years at 7% compound growth, the disciplined $50,000 earner builds over $820,000. The undisciplined $150,000 earner, around $307,000. $500,000 difference. Same market, same return rate, entirely different behavior. The engine of wealth isn't your salary. It's the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is the only number that actually builds your future. Now, here's why this is so hard in practice. When income goes up, lifestyle follows, almost automatically. New car, better apartment, nicer restaurants, more travel. You earned it, right? Economists call this lifestyle inflation, and it is quietly the #1 destroyer of long-term wealth. Not bad investments, not market crashes, lifestyle creep, silently compounding in the wrong direction. The people who actually reach $1 million aren't always the highest earners in the room. They're the ones who learned to protect the gap. Boring? Yes. Unglamorous? Absolutely. Effective? Beyond what most people ever get to experience. That gap, maintained consistently over time, is where millionaires are quietly made, while everyone else upgrades their life every time their paycheck goes up. Two people, same starting point, completely different outcomes. Jordan and Simone. Both are 28, both earning $65,000 a year. Same city, similar cost of living, same access to the same information. Jordan gets his first real raise at 28 and does exactly what society told him to do. Upgrades his apartment, gets a newer car on a 60-month loan, starts spending a little more freely because he earned it. His savings rate drops to about 8%, around $430 a month going towards his future. Simone makes a different call. She keeps living exactly like she did before the raise. Same apartment, same car. She bumps her savings rate to 30%, about $1,625 a month. She automates it. It moves before she ever sees it. Fast forward 17 years, both are 45. Jordan, with $430 a month at 7% average growth, has built roughly $172,000. Simone, at $625 a month, same return, is sitting at $651,000. Same salary, same city, same starting age. $480,000 difference. Simone hits $1 million by 50. Jordan is looking at 65 if he doesn't touch it. Look, Jordan isn't wrong. That's exactly what society shows you to do. Earn more, spend more. That's normal. That's expected.
That's what everyone around you is doing. But normal is precisely what keeps people on the treadmill. And here's what people miss about Simone. She's not living a worse life. She travels, she eats well, she has fun. She just decided early that her future self mattered as much as her current self. That one decision, compounded over 17 years, is worth nearly $500,000. Every $100 you spend at 28 is roughly $400 you don't have at 50. At 7% over 22 years, that's just what the math does. Knowing that doesn't mean you never spend. It means you spend on purpose, with full awareness of what you're actually trading. That's the difference between Jordan and Simone. Not income, not luck, just clarity. The million isn't the actual goal. The calm is.
Most people think they want wealth, but what they actually want is to stop feeling scared. Scared of the unexpected expense, scared of losing the job, scared of arriving at 65 with nothing left to trade but time they don't have. Wealth is the elimination of that fear, and you don't need a full million before you start feeling it. At $100,000 saved, something shifts. You sleep differently. Decisions stop feeling desperate. At $250,000, you realize you have real options. You could take a lower-paying job you actually like. You could take 3 months off if life required it. At $500,000, the money anxiety starts fading. Not disappearing, fading. At a million, it goes mostly quiet. That psychological shift is what nobody talks about enough, because financial content focuses on the number. Hit X dollars, reach Y dollars, grind to Z dollars. But the real transformation is internal. It's how you carry yourself when you're not operating from scarcity. The decisions you make, the relationships you show up in, the risks you're willing to take. Studies show money doesn't make you happier past a certain point, but it does make you calmer. Calmer decisions, calmer mornings, calmer life. Because when money is no longer an emergency, almost nothing else feels like one either. That's what you're actually building toward. Not the yacht, not the status, not the number on a screen. The version of yourself who wakes up and the first thought isn't money. That's the real prize. The person who starts at 22 with $200 a month ends up with more at 65 than someone starting at 35 with $800 a month. Same market, same return rate, 4 times less money contributed monthly. Time just wins, almost unfairly. $200 a month at 22 growing at 7% becomes roughly $875,000 by 65. $800 a month starting at 35 becomes roughly $798,000 by 65. The person putting in 4 times less ends up with more, just because they started earlier. That's 43 years of compound growth doing what compound growth does when you give it enough runway. And here's the mindset piece that matters most. You are not trying to get rich fast. You're building something that lasts, grows, and eventually runs itself. Every financial habit you build right now is compounding, in one direction or the other. There's no neutral. The person who automates savings today, who holds the gap when income rises, who quietly and consistently puts money to work, they're not doing anything flashy. But 20 years from now, they're free. The people around them will call it luck. It won't be luck. It'll be the result of starting early and not stopping. That's it. That's the whole secret people keep looking for in complicated strategies and hot stock tips. Start, stay consistent, let time do the heavy lifting. 5 things. Lock these in. $1 million isn't a finish line. It's a starting gun. At 7%, that's $70,000 a year produced automatically without clocking in once. The gap is everything. Not your salary. The gap between what you earn and what you keep. Widen it wherever you honestly can. Lifestyle inflation is the silent trap. Every raise is an opportunity and a threat. The people who win long-term upgrade their portfolio, not their apartment. The first $100,000 is the hardest. Push through it. Because once compound growth becomes personally real to you, the psychology flips completely. Time beats contribution rate almost every time.
Starting earlier with less beats starting later with more. If you're young and watching this, that's the best news you'll hear today. And the real prize? Not the number in an account. The calm, the options, the freedom to make decisions without fear in the background. That's what you're building. You don't need this figured out today. You just need to start, even imperfect, even small. $50 a month into a simple index fund is you putting the system to work for you instead of against you. The people who build real wealth aren't smarter. They didn't have better opportunities handed to them. They just started and didn't stop. That's genuinely the whole thing. If this video shifted something, even one idea that landed differently than you expected, subscribe, not for the algorithm, because this is the conversation I'm committed to having consistently. Real math, real psychology, no hype, no shortcuts being sold. And if you've got someone in your life who's working hard but still feels stuck, send them this. Seriously, sometimes one video at the right moment changes the entire trajectory. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're not missing some secret the wealthy are keeping from you. You're just getting started. And getting started consistently, patiently, with the math on your side, that's everything. See you in the next one.